I've put out a 30-page, well, a 28-page document that talks about these things in detail. And if anyone goes to my website at votepadgett.com, they can read more. But what I've proposed is a three-pronged approach. Number one, we have to support the businesses that already call Knoxville home. That's knowing the situations they're in. That's ongoing training. That's making sure we're working with the chamber to support those local businesses. Number two, I believe the next mayor of Knoxville needs to be someone that goes out and proactively recruits businesses and industries that make good community partners here in Knoxville. And number three, we have to establish Knoxville as a great place to start a business. And if you want to go into any of those any deeper, I know those three things are kind of the next layer down. But in the Padgett document and Padgett plan, and that's why I suggested for everyone to go to votepadgett.com and read that, Jim. We go 3 or 4 more layers down on inside each of those. What are the projects and the programs we would enact to fulfill those? How would we go and recruit companies? What type of companies we would recruit? How we would support entrepreneurs and starting businesses, and the opportunities we have between UT and Oak Ridge.
Well, I can give you examples of how I've already done it, working in Bill Haslam's administration as Director of Community Development. We are trying to drive reinvestment where there's been disinvestment. Back in the heart of the Knoxville, along the commercial spines that come out like Central Avenue and Broadway and Magnolia, and on the South Waterfront. So one of the things we did at Broadway and Central and heading out Central was to provide facade improvement loans to property owners and to businesses, and that encouraged them to move back into these areas. They invested their money, we invested a little bit of city money, and these properties are now back on the tax rolls. There are businesses in there, and we've seen a resurgence along Central, which is now called Downtown North. And in that program alone, working with the private sector, the city invested about $3.5 million. The private sector invested about $12 million, and the businesses created 260 jobs and over 400 construction jobs. So that's a very specific example of how the city can be involved in helping to stimulate the economy.